All right, guys, it's Aussie Grim with the Gamers Grim, and we are back in Starfield today on the Mood of Kurtz, and we're going to debut another one of my Star Fortress builds. Today, we are going to go over the Siege Breaker. This is a massive Class C ship with lots and lots of guns, and that was my goal. It is nearly a ladderless build. I like to go ladderless when I can, but I also really wanted to use this cockpit, and you'll see why here in a moment. But anyway, remember, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and share down below if you want to see more content from this channel. I am really enjoying growing with you guys and sharing some of my crazy and wacky creations with you here on YouTube. But getting back to the Siege Breaker, we of course have this massive ship with lots and lots of turrets. I look at them as like gun batteries, and it can take just about any weapon system that you want. That's the point, the reason I designed it this way. And as you can see, it's got a lot of habs on it, and it wouldn't be a Star Fortress if it didn't have a bunch of habs and a bunch of artillery on it. So anyway, it is definitely a Class C ship, as you're going to need those Class C parts to get this big chunky boy off the ground. But yeah, let's head inside, because Star Fortresses, I think this looks really good from the outside, but Star Fortresses aren't really about what they look like on the outside. What makes a Star Fortress is really what's on the inside. So we are going to head in through this Demos Bay and into a companionway, and as you can see, this is the one place that you're going to find a ladder. This takes us up to the cockpit, which we'll go back to here in a minute. But we're going to go through this door here, which is going to bring us out into a massive Nova Galactic cargo hall, and I did do the paint job, so the doors are closed. But we will head forward here on the starboard side, and you will find yourself a lovely little armory. And if we head to the rear of the ship on the starboard side, you will find that we have ourselves a massive living quarters over here with a pool table complete with a view, as well as plenty of living space, workout area, and entertainment system. And we will continue to the rear even further, and you will find that we have ourselves a workshop in the rear here with a view. It's one of the things about this build is you get all of these habs, and you can put the windows in places that they don't really mess anything up for you. But we'll continue forward. We'll see, this is where we went to the armory, and we will head, of course, to the port side of the cargo hall. And when we get over here, we will find that we have ourselves a computer bay that allows us to buff our crew or have any hab we want here. And of course the docker. Boy, I'm having a tough time talking today. I'm basically a one-take YouTuber. If I mess up, I mess up. That's part of my charm, I think. So, but we will also head here port side into another living quarters. I think this one's actually a all-in-one berth, but you can make it whatever you want. But again, this ship has lots and lots of habs for you to customize to your heart's content. And we'll continue to the rear of the ship, which will lead us into a science lab. So we have access to all of the crafting tables and a respectable amount of space. I looked at the crew count. I believe the crew count on this ship is 10, but I don't think that it's even possible to have 10 in this game. But you could hypothetically have 10 crew members in this giant Star Fortress. But we are now going to head up to the cockpit. So up we go into the cockpit we will be. And again, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to build this way, is you can come up here into the cockpit and you can look out over all of your gun batteries. It's kind of interesting to think that this is sort of like you would be performing military inspections visually from the cockpit as you were fighting in combat. You can see all of your different turret weapons right here from this really interesting vantage point. That was the goal. I got a lot of stuff in my cargo haul. I'm going to have to clean that out soon because I do a lot of ship builds, so I end up with a lot of crap. So, and I think in my honor bound video, I told you all about how I jettisoned 47 ship parts, which was not great. I earned those ship parts. They weren't stolen. I mean, they were, but they were stolen out of the destroyed remnants of pirate ships and Varoon zealots. But we'll take off here, and we will take a good look at the Siegebreaker in flight. We'll look for the sun so that we can get a nice, beautiful view of the ship here. And we'll go into the orbital camera. Yeah, there you go. That is, of course, the Siegebreaker in flight. I struggled with what I wanted the colors paint job to be. This seemed like a United Colonies ship, so I kind of went with a United Colonies color theme, but you can color any way you want. I'd have to say that this ship underwent probably the most iterations of color and sort of the way I decorated it. The layout has kind of been the same, but trying to find a way to make it look, presentable was kind of a struggle. I did these sort of offset fins, and this is what I ended up liking. A very kind of interesting pincer look to the ship. But I'd have to say that this ship has probably been rebuilt so many more times than any other ship that I've built so far, because I just could not quite get it right where I wanted it to. But I finally fell upon this idea that I would just hollow out the middle and put these interesting angled gas tanks under here, and it finally happened. I was like, okay, that looks good. But yeah, so what we'll do is we will scoot on over to the ship builder, and we'll just sort of tear this ship apart piece by piece. It's a relatively simple build, so it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to put it together yourself. But we will see you in the ship builder here in a minute. All right, guys, we're back here in the ship builder, and I have the Siegebreaker pulled up here for you, as you can see, and we will go through real quickly and delete all of the parts that you need and that are decorative, so that you guys can come up with different ways that you'd want to do it. Of course, we do have a couple of Scorch S80 MW pulse laser turrets here on the front. You can change those out with whichever you like, and you can take these Nova Galactic radiators off, and you can actually add another 2 of weapons. I just simply did not have enough power to really justify having 4 weapons up here, but you could hypothetically put 4 weapons up here if you really, really wanted to, just to make it look like a complete crazy-ass arsenal or batteries of high-powered turrets. And that's what's fun about the Siegebreaker. That's why I called it that, is it's just guns on guns on guns, and habs on habs on habs. So we'll go back here. I have my typical setup for turrets, my PBO 300 auto alpha turrets, which I have 4 of them, mounted on 4 of these equipment plates. And then to the starboard side, I have the Chisaku Indy RF Rapid Railgun turrets, which these are just my favorite pairing. I like the way they look, I like the way they sound, and they're just fun. You can put whatever weapons there that you really, really want. But speaking of we've got some more decorative pieces. I've got a couple of Demos bumpers here in the middle, as well as a lot of this Stroud Cap A's. These go into a lot of builds. Of course, that was a Stroud cowling. The 3 one saves you on a little bit of weight versus having 3 of the single ones, but they just sort of go along the sides here, which attach to a couple of more of these Stroud cowlings underneath, as such, like that. And then I have a couple of them tacked on here to the outside, along with some of the AccuLander 11 landing gear from Stroud Eklund on the outer side here underneath the habs. And then of course here I have some Nova cowling that goes along here, the 1L, PF, and PM, but they're just part of the same thing, which is what I used for the gas tanks. It was really the thing that ended up tying this whole build together, was finally figuring out kind of what gas tanks I wanted to use and where to mount them. But we do have a Stroud braking engine right here in the middle, and then we have some more Hopetech thrusters up here on the top, along with some Demos cowling right there on the engines, and then up here on top of the cockpit and along the equipment plates, and then a Demos belly along with two Hopetech nose caps on the back. So, and last but not least, I think we have this Hopetech radiator. You can put that anywhere you want or do this however you want, but this is the general layout. This is the meat and bones of the ship. We could probably get rid of these windows here. They're all just decorative and completely optional. If you don't like windows, you don't have to have them. But these windows are fairly well placed and don't tend to cut anything off, so that's good. If you look, of course, we had those Ulysses, M30 Ulysses gas tanks mounted up under here, which is where those go. And I do have some more Demos bellies, it looks like. But we'll get down to the meat and potatoes of the ship. We have, of course, the 120 LD landing bay from Demos, and it goes up into a Hopetech companionway, which goes up into another Hopetech companionway, which takes us to our Ares bridge up on top. We have ourselves a bulwark shield that tucks in really nicely underneath the cockpit. And let's go through the engines. Pretty easy. SAL 6830 engines. Not the fastest, but got great maneuverability, and you can carry quite a bit of weight. And we, of course, have 6 of those bad boys just like that. And our gears are pretty simple. We had those Acculander 11 gears, 2 of them, and then 4, of course, of the Nova NG20 landing gears along the sides here, because they're Nova Galactic landing gears. And then here's where I tucked away our cargo. We've got some shielded cargo on this build, but you have the 10ST hauler, and then you have the 20T hauler cargo hold, and some more shielded cargo. So you have a pretty significant amount of shielded cargo as well as regular cargo. You are capable of using the non-shielded variant, but I tried to think of this as a military ship that would be taking, top secret materials different places, and would want to resist being scanned by anyone. But as you can see, this is the general layout, using that Nova Galactic cargo hull as sort of the centerpiece and main thoroughfare of the ship. It uses 2 Hopetech hab spines to go back to your science lab and workshop, and then we have the armory and the control station to the front there. And then to the port and starboard side, we have some 2x2s just like that. And then right here in the middle, we got our reactor, which is a Fusor DC-403 reactor and an NG320 grav drive. And that is pretty much the build right there, guys. This is the layout you want to start with. You can go with just about any design that you want, but this is what I ended up with. And it was a really fun ship to build, and I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. So remember, like, subscribe, and share, and have a good day, guys. This has been Ozzy Grim with the Gamers Grim.